Everybody, it's Vivek here from Meaningful Ideas, talking about conscious parenting. Recently I was interacting on a thread about interrupting, and I have a lot of thoughts about interrupting. One of my sayings is, I taught my kid to not interrupt by always allowing her to interrupt. And by this I mean, I wanted my kid to always have that experience of what it feels like when someone attends deeply to your attention, to your needs, to your need to be seen, because it feels so good. And when she consistently receives that experience, that's what she feels human interaction is about, and she learns that. And it takes a while to teach that kind of thing. You can't teach that kind of thing quickly. It takes a while. It has to become part of the environment. And that's why interrupting is such a deep topic. So on this thread that where I was discussing interrupting, there were a whole lot of different kinds of comments. There were comments like, I have them put my hand, I give the 1 minute finger, I tell them I understand you're there, I hear you're there, I'm just going to finish or wait for a pause in the conversation. If they say excuse me, then I listen. There's all this stuff. And I understand why we do that, because interrupting is annoying. and interrupting other people feels rude. And I understand that, I really do. The way I think about it is, this job of parenting, this role, I think of it as an art form. I think of it as a discipline that we have taken on. We have many choices on how we approach it. And one of the approaches is to deal with the behavior that we see. The thing is, when we deal with and modify behavior, we're not looking at the why the behavior is coming to the surface, is manifesting. And we're also not teaching our kids about the why of things, like why not to interrupt, why not to throw food on the floor, why not to hit your baby sister or brother. Why not? Because if they understand the why, then they can make intelligent personal choices around it. I was going to say self-regulate, but self-regulate means that, right? It means making choices from our own value system so that our actions, our choices, our thoughts, and our values all line up. That's complicated. You can't teach something that complicated as aligning our actions, thoughts, and words to our intelligently and consciously chosen values. And we choose our values by listening to our heart and thinking with our minds and combining those two effectively. You cannot teach all of that by saying, wait until I'm done when you want to talk. Because true patience doesn't come from feeling bad about maybe hurting someone else. True patience comes from loving myself and the other person equally and deeply, so that I want all of our experiences to be as positive as possible. I'm looking for the mutual benefit of the whole community. This is what I feel working on non-interrupting is about. So I want to encourage you to try and think differently about the idea of interrupting. Don't think of it as a way of helping them be polite. Think of it a way as inspiring from the inside out, the feeling of wanting to care for the other person's experience. And there's simply no way to teach someone to care for someone else's experience by making them feel that their experience isn't cared for. It's not that you don't care for it, but their feeling at that moment isn't that. And then that's what they think the interactions are about. They don't think it's about caring deeply for the other person's experience, because that's not their experience. Unless you find a way of doing it, which is collaborative, which is connecting, which is coming from inside of them. Oh, it's their idea. If you can get that kind of excitement, that kind of buy-in to putting the hand on the shoulder or something like that, if they're like, ooh, that makes me feel really good, and it's their idea or they're into it, then yes, then it's not an authority figure with more power deciding what the best way for conversations to go is, and you're rude if you're not doing it the way I have decided or the way society has decided. And because society has decided it, adults mostly, kids are wrong. It starts in thinking differently. When my kid comes up and interrupts me, my annoyance, I want to take responsibility for that. It's not their fault. The other person's annoyance, it's their responsibility. It's not my fault. It's not my kid's fault. If we acknowledge all of that and we work on it collaboratively, it's not so bad, actually. It can be wonderful. Even annoyance can be wonderful because we can learn from it and we can grow closer to each other for it. But if we use that annoyance and direct it at the kid who's just who wants connection. This kid wants connection. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be felt. They want to express their excitement about life, or their fear, or their pain, or just the desire to connect. All of this is so beautiful. And interrupting is one of the key places for parents, because it's so common and it's so triggering. It's one of the key places that we can do things differently. I'm really thinking these days a lot about how I don't want us to think that gentle parenting is traditional parenting done gently. It's not. Because traditional parenting, and my saying is this, traditional parenting cares more about my behavior than my experience. And that's what a lot of behaviorally minded strategies around interrupting are, concerning more about their behavior than their experience, than their feelings, and where their behavior is coming from. Sometimes I feel like I should write a book just about how to teach kids not to interrupt, because it goes so deep into like the whole lifestyle that we lead. But I think everything does. It's like that with food, because food is a chance to teach relationship with the body. It's like that with safety, because safety is about loving ourselves and wanting to really care for ourselves. Like every single aspect of our teaching with our kids can revolve back into deepening their relationship with themselves, deepening their relationship with you, and deepening their relationship with their environment. I call that the three relationships: the relationship with themselves, the relationship with the parent, and the relationship with the environment, which includes other people and also practical material things. And when we take this more holistic approach rather than the behavior modification approach, it changes everything. So thank you very much for listening. My name is Vivek Patel, and my website is meaningfulideas.com. My social media is Meaningful Ideas on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and here on YouTube. Thank you very much.